Well, the formula somehow is a work in progress because we don't depend on self-regulation for a particular media organization. It's more than that. It's more than the KBP. So if ever the KBP would be, so I'm sorry to say, a bit ineffective in terms of policing the ranks of the broadcasters, then of course the bigger environment should be seen. And I think the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility is also trying to do its job in terms of doing constructive criticism of media contents. What I find a bit problematic regarding proposals for accreditation is if it is not done by an effective self-regulatory body, then we might have a problem. And it makes things worse if government would intervene insofar as accreditation would be concerned.
If government intervene, but what about a hybrid where you have representatives from government, from the media, and from the public? Because, I mean, you know, purely media, you cannot expect a manager of a station to tell the CEO of a station, boss, red flag ka.
Yes.
Oy, Pakundo, maglinis ka ng inidoro. Ganun
Actually, we can look at the case study in Cebu where there is a citizens press council. So it's a partnership between media organizations and you know, the citizens themselves and certain members of the academe. Government is out of the picture there because we want to invoke editorial independence for the media. So I think that kind of formula can be adopted nationwide. So we can be open to the possibility of having the press, the academe, and the ordinary citizens banding together toward having a more effective self-regulatory body. But for me, in my opinion, government should be out of it, if only to make sure that there is really editorial independence.
Okay, but there can be no editorial independence. I mean, look, there is no freedom of the press in a country where you have to go to 300 plus congressmen to give you a franchise.
Exactly, you're right. So that's why the most fundamental issue here is now, if once this issue dies down a little bit, we have to review the wisdom behind the granting of franchise, because right now, broadcast networks will have to go through the SEC and the NTC to operate. So wouldn't it be enough for these two agencies, and then we reorganize the NTC to make it more independent? Right now, it's under the Office of the President. So self-regulation would be the key.
Congressman Alfred? Kasi, no, I mean, seriously, we're thinking here for the future.
Exactly.
We can, today, it's ABS-CBN. Tomorrow, it could be TV5, or tomorrow, it could be GMA7, just because some pipsqueak congressman from some unknown barangay decides he wants to pick a fight with a network.
But it will be very difficult because, first of all, yes, include the academe, you can include government there and all that. But from a businessman standpoint, so much money to be made. That's why the influence is all there. Because if you become influential, just using the network, you can acquire a lot of businesses, you can acquire so many things. So it's very difficult. That's the first thing they have to regulate. Or standardize their, income there. Because dyan talaga mahihirapan. Kailangan yan kailangan ng franchise, because actually what they're applying for is the frequency. And the frequency, in the air, it's owned by the government. And but you can regulate that. That's still, you can regulate. They did that to the cell phone companies. They were very strict because it skyrocketed. They were doing left and right, all these things, until pumasok ang NTC and ni-regulate sila. It's just a lack of study. If they look thoroughly at this and they really study it, all sectors concerned will really look into it. We can craft I think, a good guideline. And,
yeah, but Alfred, you're the type who will study. I mean, some of the people in Congress don't want to study, are avoiding responsibility, and it's scary.
Well, then people have to know that. So they can, vote for the right candidate in the next election. Ganun talaga ang problema ng Pilipinas. In fact, like Yolanda, now they look at the weather. They understand the weather. Before they don't. They only look at the sky. If it's black, maybe you have a storm.
Ngayon, nakikinig na.
Nakikinig na. Kasi tinamaan na sila.